Welcome to another episode of Ray and
Nev.
and we are here today to talk about the Orlando real estate market, Nev.
Yeah.
Isn't it going to be interesting?
I hope it is.
I hope so too. I mean, I was looking over on the, the questions. What was the website that you told us about?
Answer the public.
Answer the public. So, and I was looking at all the questions that they had about real estate. And one of the questions that stuck to me really right away was, is buying a house in Orlando a good investment? So we're going to go over that today.
All right.
All right.
Do you think buying a house in Orlando is a good investment?
I think it's a great investment right now. I think Orlando's on the up and up. I think Orlando is one of those cities that is like when New York, when they were coming up, like all the gentrification that occurred there, family members that I know, I grew up out there, that still have homes there now currently. Probably bought those homes, we're talking about brownstones and stuff like that, where they were multifamily. So they call them townhouses now.
Yeah.
But they used to be multifamily houses where, every floor you had two apartments. I actually grew up in one of them down in off Grove Street. This was in Brooklyn, off the Bushwick area. And so you had two apartments on the first floor, two apartments on the second floor, and two apartments on the third floor. So now they're converting these into actual homes.
Oh, okay.
So back then, you used to be able to buy one of those for about $200,000. I was probably in my teens. They're selling over $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, sometimes in the price of $4 million. In Brooklyn, obviously, Manhattan's another story. But I think that Orlando's way at the beginning phases of that, and I think that right now is the best time to invest if you're going to invest for the long term. So if you want to buy property here, just know that in about 5 to 10 years from now, that property is going to obviously expand in the sense of the equity it's going to have. So yeah, I think it's a great investment.
Great. So you think this is kind of the beginning phases before we turn into kind of a New York, or?
I don't think we'll ever turn into a New York, at least not in my lifetime, because we don't have the, how do I say this? We don't have the structure that New York has, or many of the major cities. So when you do a research about on the major cities, one of the things that you notice is all the major cities have a university within inside of them. Okay. In the center. So downtown is like for example, New York. I know what you're gonna say.
Go ahead.
I know what you're gonna say. As you know, New York has they have NYU.
Okay.
NYU literally takes up almost half of Chelsea, which is a small part of Manhattan. And I know what you're gonna say, and I'm gonna let you say it. And I don't think we have that population yet.
Okay.
But now you can say what you're gonna say, because I know what you're gonna say.
Because UCF is a large university here in Central Florida.
It's a large university.
And they do have a pretty big chunk of downtown Orlando right now.
Nice size. We talked about
blocks.
it.
What is it? Like maybe 5 square blocks.
Yes.
Of downtown Orlando. And downtown Orlando maybe what, 10, 11 blocks?
Calculated to New York City, that's probably like fucking Soho.
Okay.
You got Soho. They got Soho now. They own Soho. So yeah, no, and I know that, and I know that seeing it from that perspective, obviously, yeah, we're seeing that we're going to become one of those major cities. But keep in mind, New York, New York State, the university has been there.
It didn't happen overnight over there, though.
What?
It didn't happen overnight.
No, exactly, and I think it's a gradual thing. That's why I think it's great to invest now.
Okay.
Because now we got time. I mean, buy low, sell high, right?
Yeah.
That's right now the market is ready for that, especially for investors from up north. Yeah. So if someone's coming here, and we're going to talk about that.
So it's low relative to the prices in New York or maybe even California, major metropolitan areas.
Well, if you look at it from the standpoint of if you're buying something in LA, buying something in New York City, or you have to buy something in Orlando, right? So let's look at the positives, right? So if you buy in New York City, obviously the atmosphere, everything up there is really great.
They're living on top of each other.
Yeah, but they have amazing restaurants. The culture is really nice, all that good stuff, right? But then you look at places like, then you look at LA. LA is a huge city, with many facets of it, which is very similar to Orlando. But then again, now you can try to compare it to Florida, which is closer. It's closer in comparison. But what do we have that's unique to Orlando is We have Mickey Mouse, which they do too in California, for somewhat. We have Mickey. We have Universal. We have SeaWorld. We have all the water parks, Volcano Bay and Aquatica, which is one of my favorites. But we also have so much that goes on around the city. So, for example, on the weekend, you can head over to Winter Park, Mount Dora, and you can go to a different county, different city, and just they'll have a festival going on. So there's always something to do where you're within driving distance, but get this, without New York or LA traffic.
So it's less dense.
Less dense.
Less
Absolutely.
dense. So you have all the great restaurants, all the great things to do for all age groups, honestly. Like, no matter what age, from 9 to 90, there's something for you to do here in Florida without you having to wait 45 minutes in traffic to go 5 miles.
Absolutely. And that's the best part right now. But obviously, as we get more people moving to the U.S., more people moving to Florida from everywhere, we're going to start to see that density get bigger. So
yeah.
So
how many people are coming into Florida?
But I will tell you this: what?
How many people are moving into Florida every week?
1,500. Based on the stats, 1,500 into Florida, the whole state. But this is the thing that I would say that Florida's been ahead of the curve than most cities. Is we already started our expansions of our roads prior to.
Yeah.
So we've been working on I-4 for like 20 years now.
Yeah.
First it was 2 lanes on one side, 2 lanes on the other, 4 lane. Then we went 4. Then we went 6 lane. Now we're 8 lane, maybe 10 lane. So at least in the downtown area, that it's definitely necessary, because I know you can feel the pinch of the traffic there.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, everywhere else is just fine. I mean, Disney area too. Disney area is very tight as well. So when you're driving there, anytime in the morning or 5 o'clock rush hour time, usually from BBL all the way to Disney, which is the 192 exit, you're pretty much stuck there for about 10-15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But it's not the 45 minutes that you get. And you do have alternative roads like the 429.
Okay.
You have the 417. You have other roads that you can take to get to your destination where you don't have to necessarily be on I-4, which is the corridor, obviously. It's the one road that runs from here to Tampa. So from Daytona to Tampa. So anything in between, you have that will crisscross that's really easy to access. Like, you have the major roads like Cimarron. You have John Young Parkway, which is right down the street from here. You have all the major highways, 408 that will connect you to 417 and take you down, 528. So you have alternatives where in most places when you go to the cities, they don't have their infrastructure set up yet like that. So I think that's one of the advantages that you'll have, if you did move to Florida. What's another advantage that you think?
An advantage of moving to Florida? Bro, our taxes.
What do you mean our taxes?
Our taxes are a fraction of what you would pay in California, New York, even Canada.
Yeah.
I know that's a different country, but it's a fraction of what it is right now.
But what is it that makes our tax system so much greater than theirs in that sense?
That's actually a really good question. I know right now we have a lower. Do we even have an income tax?
We don't.
We don't have an income tax.
We don't have an income tax.
Our property taxes are much lower.
Much lower.
So it kind of makes sense to bring a business here to start a business.
Yes.
Especially if you're starting in the startup phase. That's less money that's going to be spent on year one.
Yeah.
And more money you can actually reinvest into your
business. Yeah, a lot of startups. So I was reading up on this, and there's a lot of startups that when they start up in Florida, as opposed to places like California or New York, one of the biggest things that I noticed is those startups live longer because they're able to have more equity to place back into their business, and then they're able to stay around longer. Because obviously the biggest challenge that a startup faces at the beginning is capital. And if they don't have enough capital, they'll shut the doors within a year, maybe 2. Most startups don't last 5. In the state of Florida, the average startup can last about 7 to 8 years, and then they may die, which is above the national average, which is only 5. On top of that, most startups actually flourish in Florida because of the fact that they don't have these high taxes. The cost of living is a little bit lower. Obviously, it's going up. We all know that, obviously, with the people moving in. But also the fact that they don't have to pay an income tax, so that's great for them. As a matter of fact, a lot of companies are looking at us. I think we don't have a federal income tax. I think Tennessee and I think Texas are the other 2 states that I know of that are really hot right now, where people are migrating to because of those. There's a plethora of reasons, but those are the main reasons. So I want to dig into the stats. So we pulled the stats on Orlando Investment Breakdown for 2021. And one of the things that we noticed on here, right off the back, is the city of Orlando, just the city, has 300,000 people.
Yeah.
Right? And then as residents in the metropolitan area, it's 2.6 mil. Right? But our population growth over the last year went up 2.5% since 2010. The population of Orlando has increased by over 48,600 people. 4 counties make up Orlando, which is Orange, Osceola, Seminole, and Lake. But you do know that obviously we have Polk County's growing, East Volusia's growing tremendously. Yes. So those counties are really close, and there's a lot of people that actually live in those counties that would move, and that would actually, they would commute into the city. So
I'm actually excited for Polk County growing. I feel like it's something that's been in the works for so long, and now it's actually
it's coming out beautiful. Like the way they're building it is beautiful.
They're building a huge water park over there as well.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
I heard about that. Do they have the snow park over there too?
I don't know.
They do have like the snow slope thing. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I think they have like a.
You know what? We gotta ask Ricky Miller about this.
Yeah, we need to get Ricky Miller on the show. Yeah. Ricky, if you're watching, we need you on the show. We need you to talk about Polk County because he's the Polk County king.
Yeah.
He's the Polk County king. Anything you need to know about Polk County, he knows.
Yeah.
So, what's another interesting stat that came out at you in regards to the review, the report we were reading?
The craziest thing is the 1,500 people moving
daily,
moving here weekly.
That's crazy.
And the estimated population count that's going to be for 2030 is 5.2 million. Like, where are these people going?
We're doubling.
Yeah, where are these people going?
Well, I know that you asked that question, but let's say we put 2 per household, right? So that's about 2.5 million households that need to be built within the next 5 years. Do we have the space to build that? I think we do.
If you take a drive from Orlando to Polk County, you will see how much space we have between those two cities.
Yeah, that's true. Especially when you're going down 429.
Yeah.
Yo, it's empty on both sides. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So
there's
space. Build community here.
Definitely space to be built. It's just who's gonna take that? Who's gonna take the initiative?
I think a lot of these builders are looking at it as a standpoint of they're seeing it from where they see. Listen, there's so much growth in Orlando. We have to take advantage of it. But at the same time, I do know that we're slowing down as a market. A lot of people are getting buyer fatigue, and we're getting a lot of people that are just deciding, to get out of the buying process right now because they just can't find anything because of low inventory. Plus, the builders are right now doing stuff that they were doing back in 2006 where they were just going for crazy prices and, trying to make, I call it American greed. It's what happens when the market is flourishing in a way that it shouldn't be or people don't expect. So I think what's going to help with that is let the people back out and then come back in about a month or two. Keep them encouraged to come back because it's going to be important that they do buy a home now as opposed to a year from now. Because they buy a year from now, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
they're going to price themselves outside of the market.
It's the same exact thing that happened last year or 2 years ago. All the people that wanted to wait.
Yeah. They paid more for the homes the next year.
Or they paid the same and got less home. A smaller house.
Exactly. Same exact amount, some smaller house. So with that being said, I think that people need to invest now more than ever. Try to get into something, even if it's not something that you really want, but it fits. It's never, listen, whenever you buy a new home, it's never going to check all the boxes. But at least let it check 5 or 6 of them. You're good to go there. Just buy that because what's happening is it's an asset. You know what I'm saying? How many times have you seen somebody, talked to somebody that bought a car after they drove it for a few months, they really didn't like the car?
Yep.
And what happens? Is that considered an asset?
No.
It's a depreciating asset. So when you buy a car, that's a mistake. When you buy a house, even if you don't like the house,
the value goes up.
The value goes up, you're still winning. So it's a win-win, even though you felt like a win-lose at the beginning. Like, yeah, you won, you got the house, but you lost because you didn't get what you really want.
We're dealing with that right now.
Yeah.
Client, she bought a house. She didn't love the house when she bought it, but she made it into what she liked about it.
Yes.
And now she's selling this house and making well over 6 figures on this house.
On this house, yeah.
In a neighborhood that was selling for 180 a few years ago.
I tell you something funny about that is my brother lives in the neighborhood, and his house was 170, and literally he bought it cash and stuff. Literally, when we were there, figuring out what we were gonna do, because obviously we bought it as a flip type situation. They were like, "Yo, we would buy the house from you for 210." I mean, we didn't do anything to the house. We just signed. We went and picked up the keys. That's all we went to do. And it was a wholesaler that was selling it. And now they're remodeling it. They're doing the bathrooms, the kitchen. It's going to be in the same price point. Because it's the same square footage.
Yeah, it's going to be in the threes.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's going to knock down all the walls. So it's going to be a huge open floor plan to where the house you're talking about right now, it's still broken up like the old way, but I still love that it has the double master.
The way I see it, and we can even talk about the numbers. She bought it for what, 180?
140.
140. Your brother got his for 175. She put in maybe 25,000.
25-30.
Yeah, 20. So $25,000 into this house, and now she's coming back out at 320,
which is phenomenal.
So where else can you put that amount of money and make that much profit?
That's what I don't understand. And people don't realize that how important that is. People just think that they want to buy a house, they want to buy what they want, but they don't realize that if you have the opportunity to buy a house, take advantage of the opportunity, not the fact that you're getting the house.
What is something that every investor knows? Every single investor knows when they're buying a house. What do they want on the street that they're buying a house?
What do they want on the street that they're buying a house?
I'm going to say it. If you don't guess it, I'm going to say it, and you're going to 100% agree.
All right, go ahead.
Every single investor wants to buy the ugliest house on the street.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They want,
damn it. I was thinking about that.
The absolute ugliest house on the street. Because they know that has the highest potential.
Correct. Every investor always says to me, even the ones that we work with directly, they always say, the worse it looks, the better it is for me. It's the better price they can get it.
Yeah. It's a combination of things. They're most likely going to get it for the best price, right?
Yep.
It has the highest level of potential, so they can put in work and it's going to shine like everything else. And also, once they finish putting in their money, and the house is the nicest house on the street, they don't even have to make it the nicest house on the street.
Nope.
It could be the fifth nicest house on the street. As long as
it needs to fit the neighborhood.
As long as it fits that neighborhood, they know that they did good.
Yeah, they did.
And they're going to be able to make their money out of it.
So, I mean.
And that goes for even non-investors. When you're buying your first time, the first time home buyers, don't go for the nicest house on the street. Go for the ugliest house. Spend a little bit of money, maybe some sweat equity, some hard work in there.
Listen,
and you're gonna see the fruits of your labor.
How many customers have you dealt with?
Years later,
right? How many customers have you dealt with that Home Depot is the best? Like as soon as they close with you, Home Depot's like the number one shop for them. Many.
Too many.
You know what I'm saying? Because eventually you do that because you have that pride of ownership.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, if you don't like the paint color, you're going to put your flavor on it anyway. You didn't buy it, you didn't design it for yourself. So you're not going to like the house 100%. Obviously, you got to put your special touches to it to make it feel yours.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's important that, that's a great point. It's important that they do look at it from the standpoint of it is an investment. Let's buy not the nicest home, but let's buy a nice home. That's maybe in livable condition, but at the same time, I can go in there and fix it up and make it nice. It's a bathroom work? Yeah, great. Do I like the way it looks? Hell no. Mm-hmm. So I'll go in there and change. It's going to cost me anywhere between $1,500 to $3,000 to change that bathroom.
Yep.
And now I have the bathroom that I want and the home that I didn't want at first. And now I'm starting to love it even more because I'm doing so much to it. But let me go down these stats because it's really important that we notice. So home values have rose over the last year, 10.2%. 10.2. Our median price in Orlando was $305 based on the most recent from Realtor.com. Mm-hmm. As of last month, we were at $381 was our average, our median price in Orlando. All right.
Oh yeah.
Days on the market was 48 days. It has now dropped to 22. Okay. Of the 97 neighborhoods in Orlando, Lake Nona Central is the most expensive with a list price of $599, which is crazy. South Chevron is the most affordable neighborhood, which is where I grew up, 32822 area, with a list price of $130. And the reason why you have a list price of the $130, you have a lot of apartments.
I was going to say that. That's exactly what I was going to say.
There's a lot of apartments on Cimarron Boulevard that were converted.
A lot of condos.
They were converted from condos to single-family condos right after the 2006, during the 2006 boom,
Mhm.
a lot of developers that owned those outright, like they owned the whole community, they started to fee simple them and sell them out.
I didn't want to give people misinformation and think that you're buying houses at like single family standalone houses at 130.
At 130, yeah, no. We definitely want to make sure we tell them the exact numbers, the exact truth on that, because unfortunately, there is no homes in Orlando for 130. They're rare.
If there is one though, let me know. And
we'll buy it. We'll buy it. So if you don't like your home and you want to sell it for 130, we'll take it. So the average rental in Orlando was 1,444. What do you think about that?
That's a high number. $1,400 a month for the average rental. I mean, that is still saying that there are some under 1,400 and there are some above 1,400, but for depending on the bedroom count, the size of the family, that can be a high number with the average income in.
Well, I can almost guarantee you, if you're looking at homes that are like single family homes at 1,400, minimum 2-bedroom or less. Minimum 2-bedroom or less. Anything over anything 3-bedroom in the central Orlando area, or even in the metro area, you're looking easily at about $2,500 or $2,000. Between $2,000 and $2,500 will be your rent, 3 to 4 bedroom.
A number that actually sticks out to me, and it's crazy to me. 45% of the housing units in Orlando are occupied by renters.
Yes.
That's almost half the city is renting.
Correct.
And that means half the city is owned by like their secondary houses.
They're either secondary homes or, for the most part, it's secondary homes. Well, keep in mind, a lot of these people either bought homes here to have them as summer homes, and then obviously with COVID, them not being able to come down and people moving here, they're like, let me just put it on the market for regular rental, because they didn't want to wait. So that's one reason. Number two is a lot of people are investing in Orlando. They probably saw this years ago. They saw the growth beginning, so they already took advantage of it. But is the opportunity still here? Absolutely. There's major opportunity, and people need to come take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we don't want to make this video too long, but we love you guys. Please, if you like what you hear, subscribe, click down on the channel, hit the notification. We do it we release our videos every Tuesday and Thursday. And we want to make sure that, we want to, say the things or talk about
questions.
Honestly, this is your podcast.
Questions that you guys have about anything happening in Florida as far as the real estate market, investments, anything like that. We want to try to get those questions answered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quickly as possible.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you tell us what you want to hear, we'll do the research. We'll find it for you. We are probably already doing it. Our office closes anywhere between 40 to 60 transactions a month. So we have seen what's going on. We know what's going on in the market, and we would love to pass that information on to you guys. So once again, thank you for joining us, and see you on the next podcast. Thank you.